Today's Cowboys Report is sponsored by Mint Mobile. They offer cell phone wireless plans for as low as $15 a month, and they run on the largest 5G network. You will not find, trust me, I've looked, a better wireless plan than the one over at Mint Mobile. Get going today at mintmobile.com/chatsports. Today's show is looking at some trade targets at wide receiver. Blogging the Boys and Heavy.com, but mostly Blogging the Boys, had different trade targets in mind, so I figured we'd break them down because I really like the Blogging the Boys list, by the way. First, where we sit at the wide receiver spot. Short term is an area of concern, and this is a big part of the Blogging the Boys piece. Punt returner is a huge unknown, where maybe it's Jalen Tolbert, but he hasn't done it before. So there's a lot of uncertainty there. At minimum, you've got maybe 4 guys who are proven, and that's if we include Tolbert as a third-round pick. They're thin. They are thin. And with no punt returner, I have interest in looking at the wide receiver trade market. So first up, of the 3 Blogging the Boys names, this is maybe the best of the bunch. Deonte Harty of the New Orleans Saints. Now, this used to be Deonte Harris, changed his last name, so you might be a bit confused, but it is Harty now. Explosive, undersized player who, of the group, I think is the best punt returner. I also don't think the Saints would shop him. They have special teams value. They like him as a bit of a role player. He's a bit more expensive. 1 year, $3.99 million left on his deal. It's a 1-year deal, of course, there. Harty put up good production for the Saints last year. Now, to be fair, in theory, New Orleans has added Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, and Chris Olave, which could put Harty 4th or 5th on the depth chart, but I don't like Traquan Smith or Callaway that much. I think Harty's too valuable for them to hypothetically move on from. But if he is available, he is definitely someone you call. They said a day 3 pick, 4th or 5th might do it in the end if he were to be hypothetically available in a trade with the New Orleans Saints. So our first question, and this is going to be different than our second one, make sure you're answering the right question. But should the Cowboys trade for a wide receiver? I want you to play GM here and let me know what you want them to do. Y for yes, N for no. I will make this question, should the Cowboys trade for a wide receiver, the pinned comment on today's video. So, if an ad break happens to play here on YouTube, it's actually fantastic timing. Take advantage of it. Head down to the pinned comment, type in Y for yes or N for no. Jalen Reagor is next up here on the Blogging the Boys list. The Eagles wide receiver, former first-round pick who unquestionably has been a bust as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's the second most expensive in terms of per year, most overall, on his deal. 2 years, $4.24 million. A big portion of his deal is a signing bonus. The Eagles cannot cut him. If they really, really, really want to move on from him, they've got to trade him. And the issue is, in his career, not as a singular season, in his career as a first-round pick, 64 catches, 695, 3 scores. The production has not remotely been what the Eagles needed out of Jalen Reagor. Now they've drafted Devontae Smith. They trade for A.J. Brown. It leaves Reagor as maybe receiver 3, but there's also Zach Pascal, Quez Watkins, Greg Ward, John Hightower. If they could trade him, I think they'd have interest. I think a mid to late day 3 pick, and Blogging the Boys agrees, is all it would cost to acquire him. Now what I want you guys to do is make your predictions. It's what you think the Cowboys will do. Will they trade for a wide receiver? Type in 1 for yes or type in 0 for no. Now, I think, and I know I have, but you should be using Mint Mobile. Unlimited premium wireless for your cell phone with plans starting at just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/chatsports. Mint Mobile runs on the largest 5G network, meaning you do not have to sacrifice any speed, data, or coverage when you make the switch to save a ton of money. Plus, you can use a mobile hotspot to use your data however you want. mintmobile.com/chatsports. That link is in the comment section, and it's in the description of today's show. This is the cell phone wireless plan owned by Ryan Reynolds. It's the best deal out there for cell coverage. Get going today just like I did. mintmobile.com/chatsports. Jalen Darden is next up here, and this is my favorite of the bunch. I love that three-man Blogging the Boys list because it's a list that I like a lot. It's guys I've talked about before. Darden was a fourth-round pick in 2021 out of North Texas, and he is unfortunately buried on a shockingly deep Tampa Bay Buccaneers depth chart consisting of Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Russell Gage, Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, Brashad Perryman, Cowboys legend Cyril Grayson. There's too many bodies there for the Bucs. They got to make some moves. Maybe Darden, who barely played on offense last year, could be available. And if he is, I would love to bring him in because he can be my punt returner and one of my fourth-ish, number 4, number 5 receivers. That's what I'm looking for. If I trade for a receiver, and it's not a star, because it's not going to be a star, let's be honest here, it needs to be someone who can help on special teams. Now, we will have all the training camp coverage you will need right here on the Cowboys Report. My vacation's time to get me back before camp begins. Well, if the Cowboys make a trade, we'll break it down. We always have in the past. Hit that big red button and subscribe right now, wherever you're watching from. It's on Rumble or Facebook or wherever. Head over to youtube.com/Cowboys TV and join the number 1 most watched, most subscribed, and most fun-having Cowboys YouTube channel. The theme from all three of these guys, punt return value to an extent. Harty, by far, has been the most productive, especially in terms of last year. No one had a TD, by the way, last year, so just keep that in mind. Jalen Reagor, not the best at returns. Darden in a smaller-ish role. In between the two guys. I think Harty's the toughest to acquire. Darden is I would love to get Darden because when he came out of North Texas, I thought he'd be a great pick for the Cowboys. Didn't work out that well. If he had lasted around, maybe he could have been in Dallas. But I would love to get Darden. That's my vote, is JD. I want to hear from you guys. Pick a wide receiver. DH for Deonte Harty, JR for Jalen Reagor, or JD for Jalen Darden. Now, the fourth name on our wide receiver trade targets video does not come from Blogging the Boys, but rather Heavy.com with a rather unique and creative trade idea that I at least wanted to mention since many of you have asked me /DM'd about it. A Quintez Cephus trade, the former Wisconsin wide receiver coming to Dallas. 2 years, $1.91 million. Cephus kind of fell out of favor last year. His career stats, the majority of these, actually came in 2020. He does not bring punt return value, but did play a decent amount on special teams. My problem here is the trade. It's not a draft pick going to Detroit, but rather backup quarterback Cooper Rush. Interesting, I know, right? I have problems, I have thoughts, but we're a show for the people. I want to hear from you guys first. Who says no to the trade? L for the Lions, or you can type in C for the Cowboys. Who says no to that trade idea from Heavy.com? I'm typing in T for Tom because I say no. I have not been the biggest Cooper Rush fan in the past, but I do know this. If I trade for Cephus, he's going to be my receiver 4, 5, maybe. He ain't going to be my 3. That's going to be Tolbert in this scenario. I say no because it leaves me precariously thin at backup quarterback. Rush is cheap, he's affordable, he's fine. Who here, honestly, has any faith in Will Grier and Ben DiNucci beyond haha funny memes? It's the Nooch. Grier couldn't make Carolina's team. I know he's got a sponsor in Doug Nussmeier. He's not good. We have seen Ben DiNucci play. It is not great. The Lions would be upgrading backup QB over David Blau and Tim Boyle or whatever it is anymore, but I say no. The Cowboys cannot sacrifice the back quarterback spot for a depth receiver. Doesn't make sense. Now, if they want Will Grier or Ben DiNucci, cool. Let's ride. But I'm crossing Cephus off this list. I think those 3 names from Blogging the Boys were very smart ones and names to monitor probably closer to roster cutdown time. Whether it's Deonte Harty, if he is on the bubble, Jalen Reagor, the Eagles are not going to cut him, got to trade for him, and Jalen Darden and all the other Bucs receivers who I do think there's too many guys there. Somebody is going to get cut.